tour, June 20th through 24th. You're doing a stand-up tour. Where are you going, Ron?
Yeah, Jimmy, June 20th through 24th. We're going to Nashville, Huntsville, Asheville, North Carolina, Louisville, Kentucky, Atlanta, Georgia. That's June 20th through 24th. RonPlacone.com for tickets. Come on out. It's next week. I'm stoked. Or this week. It's this week.
He's stoked.
Still stoked.
So here's a little story that happened right here in Pasadena. And there was a family. This is from a Facebook post from Carly Wheeler. Said she's at the Westin in Pasadena. And I'm going to tell you, this is kind of an amazing story. So here's her story, and I'll read it to you. Swimming while black. This past Monday, June 11, 2018, at 10 a.m. Pacific time, while on summer vacation at the Westin Hotel in Pasadena, my 5-year-old daughter and I were approached by a white man while swimming in the hotel pool. The man asked if me and my little girl had showered before getting into the pool because people carry diseases into the pools, and he doesn't want the health department and shut the pool down. What? Minutes later, he approached us again on the opposite end of the pool under the pretense that he worked for the health department. No hotel security or staff was around to stop his verbal harassment. At that point, I called BS and I confronted him in what appeared to be blatant racism. I let him know that being black is not a disease and showering would not wash the black off our skin. I think it's awful that any man would think it's okay to essentially ask a woman and a little girl if we took off our clothes and scrubbed our naked bodies before getting into a hotel swimming pool. And so here's a video she posted of that guy. And we don't know who this guy is. Maybe you do. Leave it in the comments who this guy is. So here's a little bit of their confrontation that was happening with a hotel employee, and then the manager comes out. So let's watch what a creep this guy is.
So, manager, well, how would you like to handle this?
Okay.
Inappropriately.
You had no right to do what you did.
I simply asked them if they showered.
Okay, we showered again another man.
I simply asked them if they showered.
You know, like you do.
Like you do at public pools. You know how you go up to strangers at public pools and ask little girls if they've showered? What? I simply asked. I was simply being a racist a-hole. That's all. That's all I was simply doing.
And if he can sound any more calmer than the woman who's insulted, and she should be insulted.
That's right.
I was simply trying to figure out how to be racist and creepy simultaneously.
Ron, did you take a shower?
Here we go.
They're coming up here.
Okay. Because that's part of the rules. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm tired of getting into pools and people consider baths versus.
He said, I don't know about you guys. He's talking, that's an employee he's talking to, that woman. I don't know about you guys, but I'm sick and tired of getting into pools that people use as baths. What? Where you go? What are you talking about? You're sick and tired of this thing that never happens? What are you talking about? How would you know who's taking a bath and who's... How would you know who's showered before and who hasn't?
I used to be a road comic, and I traveled 40-plus weeks a year, and I always used to love to take a swim if a hotel that I was in had a pool. Never seen anyone taking a bath.
Never seen it.
Never saw it happen.
seen someone using the pool as a bath. I've stayed in hotels my whole career also, all across the country and in other countries. I've never seen someone using it as a bath.
Yeah.
He's sick and tired of it, though.
Then stop going to hotels with pools.
Or just don't go to the pool.
But you didn't ask anyone else. You didn't ask anyone else. You asked me if I showered. You're the only one in the pool. There's plenty of people over there in the goddamn pool.
You're the only one in the pool.
There are 3 other people over there. There's 3 other people over there. You didn't ask them. They're right over there right now. They've been over there. When you asked me, they were there.
Relax.
So what? Relax. I just singled you out and was creepy towards you and your daughter, and I was a racist. What's the big deal? Who is that guy?
So what? Relax. You're a hysterical female. Relax.
Yes. Yeah, you're crazy. I did something that makes people crazy, and now I'm telling you not to react normally to something I did.
If you give me a second, I'll mansplain to you why this is no big deal.
I'll blacksplain to you why racism isn't a big deal. That's what's the big deal? Racism.
Yeah.
What's the big deal?
Have to fucking relax.
Why not?
Be quiet, Carlita. Be quiet.
Why
I understand
not?
the way you feel. I think it wasn't inappropriate. It was not.
I apologize.
You had no business.
It's everybody's
doing
business.
that.
When
We
there's
travel all the
Have you
time.
Google it. Google the diseases in pools.
We travel.
Google the diseases in pools. Pools have a thing called chlorine in them. That's bleach. That's so you don't catch anything in a pool. You ever go to a pool and you smell, what's that smell? That's bleach. It's called chlorine.
Take her upstairs so she don't hear all of this.
Yeah, because it's only a shower, young lady. Don't worry. Stop on the man.
He can't stop. He can't help himself. He's still talking to those kids.
Yeah.
It's only a shower, little girl. Don't worry. What is this? What kind of a crazy... Well, we know he's a racist and an asshole.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of redundant, I guess.
Hotel. 2 seconds. I'm calling.
So here comes the man. So here comes the manager. He comes out and tells all of them, "I'm about 2 seconds away from calling the police." And the black woman says, "I want the police here," which is always a mistake. You don't want the police. But anyway, here we go.
Please, listen. I apologize. I don't know what's going on, but sir, I need you to leave. Of course. Please, thank you very much.
So now he turns to the white guy and says, "Sir, you can leave." And the white guy goes, "Of course."
Clearly, you didn't do anything wrong here, white guy, so you can just go.
You're being
You
soft.
weren't just harassing somebody.
You're being soft-spoken and calm, sir. I'm going to ask you to leave while I deal with a hysterical female again.
Why wouldn't he say to the black woman, "You're free to leave. I'm going to handle this guy. I'm sorry about that."
And I'm going to comp your room.
Yeah, no, not. Watch what he said. Watch what he does. Here we go. This is a bad management 101, and it's on film. Here we go.
You don't know who he is.
Ladies, over here, please. Please.
You don't know who
Ma'am?
he is, and you letting him leave what he did.
Ma'am, please let me talk to you over here, because I don't want to call the police, and if I do, it's going to be a big headache for everybody.
Big headache for
So
her.
he just told that guy to leave, no problem, and he's gonna calm her down, and if she doesn't calm down, she's going to jail. That's what he just said. And if you don't calm down, I'm going to call the cops, and you're going to go to jail. That's what he's implying. He goes, "It's going to be a big headache for everybody," meaning you're going to go to jail. That's what he's saying. He's not saying that to the white guy. In fact, he told the white guy to leave. This is awesome.
Well, why are you letting him go and you don't even know who he is?
I'm going to talk to him.
But you don't know who he is.
Ma'am, I can't have everybody. There's a whole lot of...
She says you don't know who he is, and he doesn't go, "You're right. I should go figure out who that guy is before I let him go." He just changes the subject. "I can't have this disturbance at my hotel." So he doesn't care what happened, that someone was just assaulting them in a racial way, in a creepy and racist way. He doesn't care about that. He just cares that someone's reacting to it in a way that might upset some of his other guests. He's not upset that there's a racist in his hotel fucking harassing people. He's afraid that people are reacting to a racist harassing people too loudly. That's what he's upset about. You're reacting too loudly to a racist who's harassing you at our hotel. That's literally what he's doing.
And additionally, Jimmy, he knows he's being filmed.
And he knows that's the thing people need to... He knows he's being filmed, and this is how he's handling it. White guy, you're free to go. Black women, if you don't calm down, I'm going to call the cops.
Right here in Pasadena.
Right here in Pasadena.
But you don't know who he is.
Ma'am.
Who is that man? Who is he?
He's a guest in the hotel.
And who are we?
A guest in the hotel.
Okay, then why not do you know who
I'm
he
going
is?
to go talk to him.
He leaves.
He's
going
leaving
to
the
his
pool.
room.
You guys are trying to enjoy the pool, right?
Yes.
Well, then go enjoy the pool. Let me go talk to him. But I can't have this disturbance.
No apology.
Well, this is what I want to know. Why would he ask my children, did they bathe before they got in the pool?
Not a very nice question.
And why he didn't ask all them other people?
I have no answer for that.
So that's all the video we have, right? That's all that was posted?
Mm-hmm.
Why did they stop fucking videoing at that moment? Oh. So if anybody knows who this guy is, if anybody knows who that guy is, put it in the comments. We'd like to know. Or send us an email here. What's our email?
JimmyDoreMembership@gmail.com.
Okay. So
yeah, and the manager's name, which, you know, because he released a statement, it's Carl Sprayberry, and I'm sorry, the hotel has to let that guy go. He has to lose his job over this.
Oh, that manager?
Yeah, I mean they got to. Like, you can't. You have to fire him.
I'm conflicted.
I'm conflicted.
Really?
Yes, I am. I know.
No, he certainly didn't handle it properly. He let white guy you're with free to go. "Ma'am, you better calm down. I'm calling the cops." That's effed up that he did that.
Yeah.
he should have invited them both to the office. Please come to my office, and let's figure this out. You don't. I mean, it's kind of smart to split them up in a sense. We're going to stop the fighting. But that's not what he did. He said, "Sir, you're free to go. Please leave," and I'm going to give them a talking to and threaten them with the police, which is what he did.
I guess I'm conflicted only about the whole idea of. I know if I were filmed in situations, I probably would be imperfect in how I would handle it. I certainly would be. And I just don't want to pit the common person against the common person where we want to, have his head roll. You know whose head should roll? That guy.
Well, yeah, certainly.
And that woman's room for the entire time that she stayed there should be comped.
That's right.
And they should give them an additional week wherever the fuck they want to go to the Westin.
Yeah.
And to somehow like appease them and say, hey, you know what? We want your business and we don't want his business.
Right.
So the president of Westin or whomever should pick up the phone and make nice with this woman. I'm conflicted about managers.
I don't know how the manager. We don't have the rest of the videotape, so I don't know how. Maybe he did comp their room. Maybe he did buy him a dinner. Maybe he didn't. I don't know how this turned out. Do you know any more about this?
Well,
Ron?
no. I mean, they issued a statement. They said they're still looking into it. They're reviewing the tapes. I mean, my thing is, and yeah, I understand it's a tough situation. I'm not trying to say, but. This was harassment.
Yes.
This was harassment.
Someone's harassing.
You harassed a guest in the hotel, and your response is, "Oh, okay, go ahead."
Free.
I understand it was tough. I understand it's a tough situation. But when you're in a position of authority and you have that kind of negligence, I'm sorry, you have to lose your job.
I'm almost convinced
Some
now,
people are
Ron.
going to say I'm being too hard, and that's fine. But you know what? I'm sure this guy is compensated handsomely. You got to lose your job for something like that. I'm sorry.
Not a good. He didn't. It wasn't a good move. He seemed to try to be. He was respectful.
He was sure,
but he wasn't in a sense.
He still had deference.
He comes walking out. I'm going to call the cops. First thing he says, and then he doesn't tell that white guy, "I'm going to call the cops on you," or "I'm going to try to figure out what happened." He didn't even try to figure out what happened.
Exactly.
He just told those black women,
Yes.
"You could just go back to the pool and shut up." And the white guy, he's gone. I don't even know where he is. So he did handle it horribly. Should this cost him his job? That's up to the people at Westin. But he did handle it horribly.
I want it to cost Westin something.
I want it to cost
because they're
Westin,
not
yeah.
ultimately protecting
Right.
their guests. So if some
Right.
dumb fuck like this guy decides to go around the pool, that guy should. You know how you're not supposed. Hey, I have the right to refuse service to you. That
yeah.
guy's photo should be everywhere.
I wonder if those women were white, how that manager would have handled it. He would have probably told the white women, and it was a black guy. Imagine if it was a black guy and two white women and their white kids. I bet you that guy would have handled it a lot differently, right?
I think so too.
He wouldn't have came out to the black guy, "Sir, you're free to go. Please go." "Maybe shut up or I'm calling the cops on you." That black guy was just harassing us, asking if our kids took showers. They go, "Yeah, I know. Shut up. Just go back. He's fine. Everything's fine. I'm going to call the cops if you keep yelling." That's how he handled it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how he didn't even ask them what happened. He didn't even ask them. He didn't get the guy's name. He didn't do anything. That was bullshit. And if it was different, well, you can never know for sure if it was up. But by the way this handled, every indication says that it would have been handled differently had it been a black guy and white women and a white kid. Think about it like that. And this guy's a real piece of POS, they call him on Twitter, POS.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know.
So that's who
now,
that guy is.
there's also going to be a protest there tonight,
And
right?
there's
Is
gonna
that
be,
what you were saying?
Well,
Yeah,
by
as
the
of
time
the
this video
recording.
gets out, it'll be
Yeah.
happening already. So 7 o'clock tonight in Pasadena.
7 o'clock in Pasadena,
at
right
the
in front of
Westin.
the Westin. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so there you go. Fine, tell me who this guy is. So again, to be black in America, I can't even imagine. You know, I get upset at authority in America, and I'm white, right? I get pulled over. They let me go. I get let go most of the time when I get pulled over. Isn't that something?
Yeah, me too.
Do you?
That's how it goes down for
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
I get the most. I got pulled over on Christmas. This guy let me go. I was speeding. I sped right past a cop. I didn't see him.
I think you told me later that day. I'm like,
pulls,
what?
He pulls me over. "You can't speed past me." I go, "I didn't see you." I wasn't trying to speed
I think you
past
gave him a sad sack story.
I gave him a sad sack story.
like, my wife's going to
My
kill
wife's
me.
yelling at me. I forgot to get something for Christmas, and our
Brother.
Christmas is ruined. And now my wife's yelling at me, and I'm trying to get home. And so he let me go. Which, you know, you got to know how to. Anyway,
I accidentally drove through a checkpoint once, and the guy let me go.
Because you're white.
Well, yeah, and it was
Yeah.
like my first time encountering it because it was in New Mexico, and I had never encountered it
A
before.
DUI
I didn't know
checkpoint?
what it was. No, it wasn't. It was one of those like
Fruit?
citrus
For fruit?
things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know what it was because like I hadn't driven around that area that much, so I just thought it was just like sort of a thing, and I was like, well, there's no toll here, so I just drove by the guy who was waiting for me to stop, and I drove by him waving. I didn't know, and I was just like, yeah, and he's like, what are you doing? Stop! And like I stop, and I'm like, what do you need? Like, that was actually what I said. And he was like, do you have any drugs? And I was like, no. And that was it. And I had pot in the car, but, you know, what are you going to do?
But yeah, I mean, who does that work on? Do you have any drugs? Yeah, you got me. Fuck, didn't see that question coming.
But I like just drove through the thing. He didn't have any follow-ups. He was like, all right, see you.
Okay. So let me know who that guy is. And again, wow, to be black in America, it seems like it's challenging, to say the least. So there was a protest this evening in front of the West End Hotel in Pasadena, and we went down to talk, and we talked with one of the organizers of the event, Ian Burke Jameson.
That the hotel staff should have, and General Manager Carl Sprayberry should have immediately evicted the racist patron upon investigation. And the company should have immediately issued a statement and should have immediately reimbursed Ms. Wheeler for her stay. They eventually did that.
Oh, so they did?
The latter.
Okay, they reimbursed her for her stay?
Yes,
Okay.
but the gentleman was allowed to remain on the premises,
Really?
and she was threatened with the cops if she didn't settle down.
Yeah, we saw that on the videotape that he threatened twice to call the cops.
Yes.
Did they ever find out what the guy's name was, who that guy was?
That information has not been released publicly.
Are they still investigating this?
Yes, that's their hedge. We're still investigating.
Oh, okay.
No.
All right. And have you spoken to that manager that was on that videotape?
He got me on the phone, and I asked him what the company's policies were handling racist harassment from their guests, and he gave me a BS answer along the lines of, I'll get back to you on that. Please send me an email, and I'll send it over to East Coast Corporate.
Okay.
And I have not heard back from them.
Okay. All right. And so what do you hope that this accomplishes today?
We want Mr. Sprayberry to either resign or get fired for his appalling racist handling of this incident, and we want Starwood Hotels to commit to meeting with local African-American community members, most especially Vice Mayor John Kennedy, to discuss how this disgusting incident happened and what steps the company is going to take to see that it never does again.
It was pretty shocking that he didn't confront the white guy who was harassing. But do you think he should lose his job, or do you?
I mean, this is Jim Crow shit.
Do you think he was just making a mistake and handling it poorly, or do you think he was?
That's his job. He's a general manager. He should be up to the. There are racist people in the world. You need to be prepared to handle that as a hotel manager.
Yeah. All right, Ian. Thanks for talking to us. Your name?
My name is Kimberly, and as a matter of fact, I just decided to go in and ask the management, how would you handle it, or how do hotels handle stuff when you have two paying patrons and one is harassing another? They refused to give me an answer.
Really?
Their answer should have been, we get rid of the harasser. But they were more like trying to remain, I don't know, politically correct. Well, it depends on the situation, and we want to make sure, first of all, that the safety of all of our patrons is, taken care of. And I said, well, that's not my question. I'm not asking you about safety. My question is, how do you handle this situation? And I expected them to say, the harasser has got to go. But that's not what they said.
Right.
So needless to say, I'll never be staying at a Westin, ever.
Okay.
Oh, hey, hey! Ho, ho! Racist management has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Racist management has got to go!
The next live Jimmy Dore show is July 1st in Portland, Oregon, July 15th in Chicago, and July 27th in Burbank, California. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com for a link for all those tickets to those shows. Plus, don't forget, become a patron to help support independent media. We give you hours of bonus content every week. Plus, every Saturday at 2 p.m., we do our Solid Chat Saturday. It's our live stream on Saturdays, 2 p.m. Pacific time. Stick around for that. And please make sure you're subscribed. Even though you think you are subscribed to this channel, they're unsubscribing people every day. Just check. Click subscribe and then click the bell to make sure they send you a notification when we're dropping videos. Otherwise, they won't tell you. Thanks for your support.